Hello, everybody. My name is Bruce Montgomery, and this is my colleague, Tracy Priest.
Hello, everyone.
And we're with The Road to Retail. On our podcast, Tracy and I hope to offer insights and ideas for how emerging small and challenger CPG, consumer packaged goods, brands can establish and grow their business.
Bruce and I have been working in CPG commercial operations for over 30 years, working on brands of all sizes. By commercial operations, we mean all aspects involved in establishing and growing brands across channels and platforms. On our show, we bring on guests that are brand founders, leaders, investors, as well as all kinds of suppliers to these emerging brands that are subject matter experts to share their unique insights with the audience.
To keep up with the show, please follow the Road to Retail podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Leave us a review and consider sharing the show with a friend or colleague that may benefit from the content. You can also check out our website at www.road2retail.com and follow The Road to Retail on LinkedIn. Let's get to today's episode. Since 1994, the Emerson Group has been the trusted partner to brands, retailers, suppliers, and the CPG industry. Their people are CPG professionals and omnichannel commerce experts. They have built a fully integrated infrastructure with a suite of services and capabilities focused on launching and accelerating the growth of health, wellness, and beauty brands. Powered by their proprietary Omega AI data technology platform, which utilizes a brand's insights and data analytics to create a brand's go-to-market strategy, optimize their omni-channel distribution, build marketing plans, and optimize supply chain. The Emerson Group infrastructure and capabilities serve brands in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. To learn more, visit their website at www.emersongroup.com.
So Bruce, tell us about our newest sponsor.
Glad to, Tracy. Tired of getting crushed by chargebacks each time your brand sells product? From dealing with hundreds of forms that all look different to fighting tooth and nail to get repays, managing deductions is tough work. And you're almost certainly leaving money on the table. Fortunately, there's a solution. Floret was built to help brands like yours. With Floret's software platform, you can automate your deductions workflow, get insight into your trade spend, and even have your deductions disputed for you. Whether you're a scrappy young brand trying to break into retail or an established supplier looking to get sharper on trade, Floret will put money back in your pocket. We've saved brands hundreds of thousands of dollars this year alone. Visit www.tryfloret.com to book a demo and learn more. That's www.tryfloret.com.
Again, we encourage you to subscribe to our iTunes or Spotify channel at Road2 Retail.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of The Road to Retail. It's a little bit interesting here today. Tracy Priest, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. We are on the road in beautiful Oldsmar, Florida today.
Oldsmar, a little different than Fort Worth.
It is, but it's still Tampa.
Kind of near Tampa. Well, we're very excited to be here today with our friends at Eagle Labs, and we are joined by their Chief Commercial Officer, returning champion to the show, Michael Law, and his colleague, Jana McDermott, who's the Senior Sales Manager here at Eagle Labs. So, folks, thank you very much for joining us here today.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, and we're going to get Jana on here in a second, but we're going to start torturing Michael first. So, Michael, why don't you take a few moments and tell the audience a little bit of the backstory of Eagle Labs, how you guys got going, and what you guys can do.
Yeah, I'll give you the shortened version. The company was started by two entrepreneurs that were very customer-centric, very focused on quality. They started Eagle Labs about 10 years ago with a 5,000 square foot footprint facility just making liquids and creams. They have always had extremely high standards and have pursued a ton of different certifications. I'll touch on the certifications in a second, but to give you an idea of the growth that we've achieved over the last 7 or 8 years, we went from that 5,000 square foot facility with probably 20 employees, where today we have 400,000 square feet and over 600 employees across 4 different manufacturing sites, a fulfillment center, and a core central warehouse where all raw materials and packaging are stored before they're sent out to each manufacturing site. The certifications, we have over 10 different certifications, including NSF for dietary supplements. We're NSF certified for skincare cosmetics, NSF certified for OTCs, and that's at all facilities. We're also organic certified, non-GMO, halal, Health Canada. I may have missed one, but GRMA and SSCI. There are some retail partners where those certifications are important. We manufacture across supplements, skincare, and OTCs a very wide array of product forms. And my colleague, Jana McDermott, is going to walk you through some of those now.
So what's really interesting, folks, is Michael and the team were kind enough to take us on a tour, which we can't really share with you due to confidentiality of their processes, and they take confidentiality of their client base very seriously. But very impressive, scattered here throughout the Oldsmar, Tampa area. Gigantic, very clean facilities, incredible controls for quality, and a warehouse just brimming with inputs to take care of their clients and finished goods ready to go out for their clients to sell to consumers to keep them happy and feeling and looking good. So that was really impressive. Right now, I'd like to yield to Jana McDermott, and she's going to talk about some of the different product forms that Eagle Labs can provide to their clients, as well as some new technology that they've only recently added. Jana, thank you for joining us.
Welcome, Jana.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. The main thing here at Eagle is we want to be able to have a large variety. So our customer base is very diverse. We know marketing is a key to bringing a product to market. So we want to be able to support a range of possibilities. The basic one is capsules. It's probably the most common delivery form. Capsules are pretty common. Powder capsules inside. We do like to have high standard quality on them, so we go through a vigorous polishing process before they go into bottling. A form that's not as trending anymore is a tablet. We do love tablets, though. There's a lot of interesting things we can do with tablets. A common trend on the market is a probiotic dental chew. So we make quite a few varieties of those. And those can be in any size, mold, and tooling that we can accommodate. On the skincare side, we can do liquids, creams, and serums. So with that comes a lot of development to make sure that the cream and serum holds its integrity and the product is shelf stable. The powders are probably some of my favorite because I love to do flavoring. So we have creatine powders are super common. We can do complex greens powders. We have a lot of protein and meal replacement powders. So we really like to make a complete picture around powders. Everybody loves gummies, so we have gummies. The gummy forms we usually commonly use are as a little gumdrop. We see those a lot on the market, and customers can have their option of doing different coatings on them, such as a sugar coating or a sour coating, or they could choose just to have it polished. From there, everything else is made on the bench, and we can scale up and flavor match to meet any kind of needs that's out there.
Maybe, Jana, just touch on our R&D capabilities here in the lab that we have to help customers with their formulations.
Yeah, definitely. So in the lab, we can actually scale up anything we make. So what I'm holding in my hand right now, for those of you that are listening, is a gummy mold. And what we can do is we can actually make a small batch of gummies on our bench. We can make sure that that actually gels, because that's actually important for gummies. And we can make sure that the flavor is good. So we have tools in our lab that we can scale up on the bench. We also have tools that we can make sure that the powder is a uniform blend. So we have things that can separate particle sizes, so we can determine exactly what kind of blend instructions we need. Making a dosage form in a stick pack is also extremely important. The powder needs to be what we call homogeneous and uniform throughout. So we will test this in the lab and make sure that all of your product is quality from top to bottom.
Hey, Jana, can you tell people what a stick pack is?
Sure. So a stick pack is probably the most trending form right now for dietary supplements, and it usually holds powder. So what I have in my hand right now is a hydration stick pack. It has about 5 grams of powder in it that will be fully soluble in water. You'll be able to pour it directly into a bottle of water and mix it up. These are very portable. They're also great for people that have logistics requirements. So these are actually lightweight and they are easy to transport. So if you are a brand that's shipping from Amazon, sometimes this is a great form because it can go easily into any kind of a mailer that you have. So stick packs are definitely trending. They're just very versatile.
Awesome. That's great. So let's talk about some of the other capabilities with Michael. So talk to us, Michael, a little bit about your international capabilities. Can you, make products for foreign brands who want to come to the U.S. or make products here in the U.S. for foreign brands? So talk to us a little bit about your capabilities in that arena.
Yes, as Eagle has grown, one of the most important factors in our growth has been our focus on customers. So uh, we have a customer-centric organization. So if a customer wants to get into a new primary packaging form or a new product form, that is not a barrier for us. We will investigate the cost of capital and the machinery that's required. So we're more often to say, yes, we can, we'll figure it out. If there's an opportunity there and we can help a strategic partner, we'll figure out how to get that done. As it relates to a global footprint, we learned that that was something that was important for our current customer base to be able to access consumers in other markets like the EU and the Australian and Asian market. So the owners are always looking for new opportunities, and they found an opportunity in Australia to create a joint venture. So we now have an Eagle Labs manufacturing and fulfillment capability in Australia, and that's currently accessible to our client base. And each country has different regulatory requirements, so that's another service that we can provide. As you look at other countries for manufacturing and or fulfillment, we can help you navigate those dangerous waters to make sure that your formulations, the ingredients, and the claims that you're looking to make are acceptable for any given market. So we're now manufacturing in Australia for our partners. We're doing fulfillment in Australia, and we're about to open up fulfillment in the Netherlands for all of EU. So again, our North Star is a customer-centric business model where we look to help satisfy our customers' current and emerging needs. For customers that we're not currently doing business with that are in some of those global markets, we can help them with US manufacturing. And again, through the lens of what is the regulatory landscape, what ingredients are approved here that might not be approved in other countries, and what are the claims that can be associated with certain ingredients. So no matter where a customer is, if they're looking for quality manufacturing, they're looking for a customer-centric organization to do business with, our focus is on finding the right partners, a strategic partnership, and then finding the many different avenues to help support their business growth.
That's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about your e-com fulfillment business, because it's with our tour and everything today, it's quite impressive. So talk to us a little bit about your capabilities and how you help the brands that you service.
Absolutely. And this also goes back to the early days of Eagle Labs, when our founders were trying to find fulfillment solutions for e-com customers, and they couldn't find a reliable solution, so they created their own. They created a company called Full Stack Fulfillment, which has a white label catalog of about 60 different standard formulas that any entrepreneur can utilize with a custom designed label and a standard supplement fact and set of label claims. So we warehouse those 60 items unlabeled at Full Stack, and we ship them on behalf of our customers who API their Shopify site into our fulfillment software. When the order comes in through their website, we get it, we process it the next morning, we take the bottle, label it, put it in a mailer, throw it in a what's called a Gaylord, a large bin that gets picked up by one of the multiple different carrier companies that we use, like USPS. And so that has become a very important part of our business. For those that don't want to invest in inventory and they're happy with a standard stock formula, we can help those kinds of entrepreneurs with the on-demand standard formulation catalog.
That's awesome. Love it. Bruce?
So, Michael, when you guys are getting calls in from brands that are either emerging and starting to grow or they're outgrowing, however, they're currently making product, what should those entrepreneurs be asking co-manufacturers that they're considering working with? What are some of the key questions?
Yeah. The first question, which is going to sound surprising, are that I would say brands should ask is, do you guys do the manufacturing yourselves? There are actually a number of companies that masquerade as contract manufacturers, and they're really just brokers. They will acquire a relationship with a brand, and then they'll go out and find a manufacturer. That's just going to add costs. So the best thing to do is first of all understand, is the contract manufacturer actually doing the manufacturing? There's nothing like a site visit to understand what their capabilities are. So highly recommend a site visit. It's important that you understand their certifications. In the US, you don't have to be certified by NSF or any other body, outside body, third-party body to be certified to make dietary supplements. You just have to agree to use CGMP, current good manufacturing practices. So I would highly recommend that you seek a contract manufacturer that has outside third-party certifications like NSF. As you think about the consumer that you're trying to attract, it's important to understand the other certifications you may be looking for, like non-GMO, like organic, like Health Canada, like halal. So the certifications should match the end product and the end consumer that you're trying to access. It's important to understand the leadership team at the contract manufacturer that you're looking to work with. So getting on a call with senior leadership team, understanding, okay, well, who's running quality? What kind of audits have they been through? What's their background? Who's running the procurement team? How many different kinds of ingredients do you source? Are you the kind of company that can make a phone call and get access to the most popular trademark ingredients in the industry? Do you have a deep bench in terms of sourcing so that you can source the primary and secondary packaging? Have you got volume buying because you're able to leverage multiple customers and contracts, so you are getting low costs on ingredients and packaging? Those are some of the key things. You really have to have a connection with the people at whatever co-man you're going to work with, because you're going to spend a lot of time with them. You want to make sure that you trust them. You want to check industry sources and references to make sure that they're reputable. And then ultimately, price is important, but we tell our prospective clients it's not the only thing that you should be focused on. You really need to understand the entire value proposition that a contract manufacturer has for you.
Well, we're going to get to that second part of your answer there in a second, but two other quick follow-ups here, Michael, is when does a brand either need a co-manufacturing partner or a larger one?
Yeah.
And then the follow-up after that for people who maybe have never dealt with one before, if you could just kind of touch on the ballpark framework of how a contract manufacturer gets paid, that could be helpful too.
Yeah. Well, I would say the first thing is the phrase I like is think big, start small, scale fast. So it's important to understand what you want to be when you grow up if you're starting a brand. So let's talk about first emerging brands or startup brands, then we can talk about existing brands. So for a startup brand, you want to understand, can this contract manufacturer check all the boxes that I just went through in choosing a co-man? Secondarily, can they scale? Like if I put this in e-commerce, if I put it on TikTok Shop, on Amazon, if I get distribution in all Target stores, can they go from a 5,000 MOQ order to 50,000, 100,000, 200,000? Can they keep up essentially? Because if you don't start with a co-man that you can scale with, you got to reset the clock. You got to find a new relationship. You got to vet all their quality systems. You can save a lot of time by choosing the right co-man right out of the gate. For a large brand that's existing or emerging brand that's existing and is looking to either diversify their contract manufacturing by adding a secondary source contract manufacturer, that's something that I would say is important, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. So we're often a secondary source manufacturer for emerging or large brands, or we have brands that they then go out as they scale and they add additional contract manufacturing resources. I think the other important thing is really understanding what other services can this contract manufacturer help me with as I look at the life cycle of my brand? Can they help with product innovation? Do they have an R&D team? Do they have the ability to create new formulations? Can they do flavoring? Do they have access to regulatory consultants and teams that can help navigate different geographies? So again, it's really understanding what can the co-man do for you today, and how can they help you scale over the next 2-3 years? So finding one that's got a lot in their toolbox is going to provide you with a lot more runway than if you find one that can just satisfy your needs today.
Yeah. So what, two things to add there, quick, folks, and then Michael will give us a top line on how a good co-man gets paid. Is Michael mentioned MOQs, which is minimum order quantity. That's a good question to ask any supplier anywhere, because sometimes an MOQ might be huge, and if you're an emerging brand, it could be tough to deal with. It could be tough to figure that one out. So Michael, just real quick, what's the framework for a contract manufacturer getting paid?
Yeah. So typically for an emerging brand that wants to create a formula, we will sign an NDA. That's really the first step. And signing an NDA allows us to have discussions about confidential information. So we get the NDA in place. We start to talk about, okay, well, what does your formulation look like? Are you giving us a formula that we're going to manufacture, or are we going to develop a formula on your behalf? For developing a formula on your behalf, then we've got to go through R&D work. We might have a call with our R&D team initially to really refine what consumer benefits you want to hit and what cost target and price target you want to achieve. So it's important for the entrepreneur to know at what price their product has the greatest chance of success in the category that it's going to compete in, because that will drive decisions around packaging and ingredient choices. How we get paid, typically for a new brand that is entering into a relationship with Eagle Labs or most other contract manufacturers, the terms would be 50% down, so 50% when you place your PO and 50% on shipment. So before the product leaves our dock, it's been fully paid for. There are more favorable terms for longer term relationships and good credit history. Clients that want to achieve better credit terms, we have to have been doing business with them for a while. They have to have a very strong payment history, payment on time. But yeah, typically for a new brand, it starts with 50% down upon placement of the purchase order once the formula is locked in, and then 50% on shipment.
Great. Thank you so much.
That's awesome. So talk to us a little bit. We've talked about what does a brand look for in a contract manufacturer, but what do you look for in a potential client? What's your credibility?
That's a great question. The thing a lot of brands don't realize when they're talking to us is we're also interviewing them, because we have the luxury of choosing our partners. We're not looking for transactional relationships. We're really looking for strategic partnerships. So we're looking for potential clients that understand the categories they're looking to compete in. Ideally, some understanding of how they're going to achieve the consumer benefits with what kinds of ingredients that are available for us to access. We source over 1,500 different ingredients and hundreds of different packaging types. So having a good idea of what problem you're trying to solve that's not being solved in the marketplace, and at what cost you're looking to achieve that, really helps us significantly.
Great. So kind of what I've gleaned from what you said is it's really a marriage.
It definitely is a marriage, and one where you kind of get handcuffed to each other. It shouldn't. I mean, we want relationships that where we're happy and the client's happy.
Right.
So our best client is somebody that wants to meet with us regularly. They want to come and tour. I almost think of somebody in a different light if they don't want to visit the facility, because if you're really serious and you want to scale with us, then you should really come and see the facility and see everything that we can do, understand all of our capabilities. Because when you understand our capabilities, you can understand how to leverage the resources that are available from Eagle Labs. But we're looking for people that have experience in marketing. There are a lot of leads that come in where the first sentence is, I'm thinking about starting a supplement brand. That's a red flag because
Yeah.
the barriers to entry are not very high, but the barriers to actually being successful are pretty high. You have to know how to market. So
Absolutely.
knowing how to market is almost more important than knowing the science behind a supplement. So knowing how to market, having some kind of a track record, having some clarity on what your source of funds are. Are you self-funded? Do you have partnerships? We recently toured somebody that has got very deep connections into both retail and the ingredient world. So it's important for us to be choosy as we look at who we want to do business with. We can fill up our capacity with a lot of small customers that where we might get one initial run and then never see them again. But we'd rather spend the time doing our due diligence and vetting to make sure that we're onboarding clients that we're going to have a long-term marriage with.
Yeah, so the important thing there, folks, is if you're just starting out as an emerging brand, the shops like Eagle Labs that have all kinds of capabilities, they're not necessarily panting on the other end of the phone to do business with you. They have some expectations and qualifications as well, which is what you would hope for, right?
Yes.
Because if you're dealing with desperate people, sometimes things don't go well. So, Michael, for the people who are either starting out or grown to the point where they need a contract manufacturer, can you just kind of walk through, let's just call it follow an order. An order comes in from a client you've already signed up, so that part's over.
Yeah.
Well, how does that flow, and when does it come from phone rings to product out the door?
Yeah. So once we get a purchase order, we translate it into an internal document called a sales order. The sales order really triggers all of the activities that we have in our ERP system. So it starts to help our organization understand, okay, what ingredients do I need to acquire to fulfill this order? What packaging do I need to get? What kind of label do I need to finalize? So all of the key elements of packaging, ingredients, labeling, all of that starts in motion with a purchase order. Scheduling then comes into play to make sure that, okay, if we've got our timelines roughly are 14 weeks for a new product that we've never run before, and that's from the date of purchase order to the date of shipment, and 12 weeks for a repeat order, something that we've done before. We typically like to do a pilot batch or a small batch for something we've never done before, just to make sure that it's going to flow well in our machines and we won't have any problems as we scale to the full purchase order. So we acquire the ingredients, we acquire the packaging, we put in motion the ordering for the primary and secondary packaging, labeling. Any labeling and claims goes through our label control group, and they make sure that everything is within regulatory guidelines and people aren't making egregious claims, because that will just result in a market withdrawal, which doesn't help anybody.
Right.
And then, from there it goes to scheduling. Once it's actually been manufactured, actually, let me step in one more step. You guys saw the core warehouse today.
Yeah.
That's 100,000 square feet of storage, inbound storage for raw materials and packaging, and storage for finished goods before they get released from testing to get sent out to the client. That's where the ingredients and the packaging come in. Then they get weighed off for the individual scheduled batch and get sent to each of the 4 manufacturing sites several days in advance of the scheduled time on the line. And then we go to blending, and then either encapsulation, tableting, powder fills, liquid fills, cream, lotion fills, depending on the product form. So once all of that is done and we have a finished product that's labeled sitting in master cases, we have to wait for the testing to come back. We test beginning, middle, and end of the batch for micro. So if we do a 30,000 unit run, we test bottles from the first 10,000, the second 10,000, and the last 10,000. They get sent out for a micro testing. We test for heavy metals. We test for an assay. So if something has multiple ingredients and vitamin C is one of the key ones, we might align with the client that vitamin C is the assay that we're going to test to make sure that it actually supports the dosage and potency listed on the label. So once we have all of that testing back, then it can be released. There's a formal release document from our quality department that accompanies the shipment and allows the shipment to be released from its finished goods staging area at the core warehouse. And that's
Awesome.
when it gets shipped, that's when the invoicing happens.
Very
Yeah.
detailed process.
Yes, and based on our tours, and Tracy and I have been in a lot of these facilities, the Eagle Labs folks are running a tight operation. So if
Very
you're
much so.
you're working here, you can be confident that all the paperwork, due diligence, checks and balances, it's all there. Tracy?
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about your thoughts on private label. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're approached about this all the time. So what is your
Yeah.
position on that?
So for us, a customer is a customer. And we excel at manufacturing supplement, skincare, and OTC. So anybody that has a need for any one of those product classifications or categories, we can manufacture for them. The sweet spot of our growth has really been e-commerce experts, emerging brands, and mid-sized brands. Most of the largest of the large CPG companies have in-house manufacturing.
Right.
We do manufacturing selectively for private brands for retail. The challenge that we've encountered as we've started to explore that as a sales growth channel is a couple of things. Number one, payment terms tend to be very long. Like sometimes it's actually pay on scan or 90-day terms. We're privately owned, privately funded. We don't have any external debt. So the company is looking to obviously get paid for our investment in raw materials and packaging and to cover all of our costs. So extremely long payment terms are not attractive to us. For retailers where we can find a sweet spot of, hey, there's a really good fit with our capabilities and their product needs, and we can have in scope a negotiation on reasonable payment terms, making sure that it's not just a total bid business. If we feel like the retailer is going to change their partnerships every 12 to 18 months for 5 cents, then we're probably not the best fit.
That makes sense. I don't blame you.
That's true. So, Michael, Eagle Labs, you guys are working away. A brand calls up. They may or may not be a customer right now. Talk to us about how you guys can help or have helped brands that are either outrunning their current co-manufacturer, or you can help them scale. How do you help them get back on track so that they either don't suffer from not shipping full orders, or they're able to take advantage of opportunities for growth?
Yeah. So again, we're a very entrepreneurial company. We're a very agile company, and we focus on strategic relationships. So if we have a brand that scales, and as I said, we deal with a lot of e-commerce clients. We have somebody who can sell 45,000 units a week of something. And if you're advertising e-commerce, things can happen with the algorithm in your advertising platform, and you can go from 40,000 a week to 10,000 a week. And then you don't know when that algorithm is going to kick back in again. So we have helped clients re-achieve their previous scale by we have a number of different forums where we can bring our leadership team together. We can align on key actions we're going to take to add incremental shifts, to forward buy ingredients as necessary. So we really look at the partnership and try to understand how we can help that partner achieve their goals. So our best client would be one where we work on a weekly forecast, where we have an understanding of their demand plan, their consumption from their consumer base. And then we can have open and candid conversations around, okay, if this is what you're seeing and this is what our normal lead time is, we need to put more POs in right here. Here's the trigger point. And if you think you can scale 50% higher than that, then why don't we put in some additional protection? So that's in terms of scaling. In terms of quality, I have no doubt we're at the top of the industry and contract manufacturing as it relates to quality. So sometimes products don't test out from other co-mans because they didn't think through the formulation properly. They didn't think about the degradation of an ingredient that's very volatile. So our R&D team will look at every ingredient, understand what are the appropriate overages by ingredient to make sure that that's going to be stable in the marketplace over a 24-month time frame. So it's having that level of expertise to understand, if you want this product to meet label claims in 24 months, how do you need to formulate it today to achieve those outcomes?
Awesome. So talk to us a little bit about maybe some of the trends or hot categories that you're seeing right now
Yeah.
in the industry.
As Jana mentioned, hydration and stick packs are on fire. I think we probably have 50 open quotes right now, from brands that are looking to enter that space. Not all of them are going to be ones we'll work with or be successful, but that's probably one of the hottest segments right now. Areas like beauty from within is very, very popular right now. I know it's a major area of focus at retailers like Ulta, but looking at ways that you can support your beauty goals through ingestibles, that's a very, very hot area. And there's a lot of areas that are kind of fairly standard, but like gut health, brain and focus, the focus on GLP-1s in the marketplace, that class of drugs. I think 13% of Americans are now on that class of drugs.
Yeah.
People that are on that product or that category tend to also need supplementation for protein, fiber, and hydration. So we make all of those product categories. So we can help with anybody that is looking to capitalize on that trend. People that are on Ozempic or that class of drugs also can need support with products like collagen. You tend to lose mass in your skin, in your face, and there's something called Ozempic face. So collagen is a supplement that can help with that. The fine lines and wrinkles can start to appear more as you lose weight. So there's a whole suite of products around even pharmaceuticals where supplement manufacturers and skincare manufacturers like Eagle can help someone who has a brand build out their portfolio.
Awesome.
So that's great. So Michael, we're kind of heading toward home plate here. So a couple of other last kind of rapid fire topics for you. So you're at a conference representing Eagle Labs, and an entrepreneur comes up to you and says, "Hey, I'm thinking of starting a CPG supplement brand. Any counsel?" What would you tell these people aside Ron?
Well, the first thing I would say is, problem are you going to solve that's not currently being solved by a bigger, better financed competitor?
Yeah.
And what's your sales channel, and what experience do you have achieving consumer demand? It's like I said, the prospect or the idea of creating your own supplement or skincare brand has been dramatically democratized. It's very, very easy. The bar is very low. You could start with a white label product. You could do something custom. You'll probably find a co-man that can help you actually create that product at a fairly low MOQ. That's not the barrier. The barrier now is really to be competitive, to find an unmet consumer need, to find a consumer cohort that's willing to pay the price that you're wanting to convert it at and make profit, and to find that consumer with your marketing message in a way that's going to convert them profitably.
That's awesome. I love it. So as Bruce said, we're kind of rounding third and heading home, our baseball analogy. So tell us who has had the most impact on your career and why.
Wow. That's a good question. I'm not sure that there's one person. I can think of several individuals that have had significant impacts on my career, and it's been those leaders that have pushed me, that have trusted me, that have given me opportunity probably ahead of where I really deserved it. But people who took a chance on me, they saw something and believed that I could execute. And I've always been driven by achievement. So I love having stretch assignments and stretch goals. As for instance, I didn't know anything about contract manufacturing 7 years ago. Never thought I'd be doing this, but I learn new things every day. So yeah, it's the people that have had the biggest impact on me are the ones that have trusted me, challenged me, and kind of thrown me the ball.
That's awesome. I
And
love that.
it's so true, because we might not realize it at the time, but especially when we're all, young guns getting started, we're given opportunities when we frankly probably don't know what we're doing and haven't really deserved it yet. But someone's like, let's give this person some rope and see if they make a knot or put their head through it. Okay, Michael, your favorite band, brand, or sports team, and why do you support them? I know you probably can't say brand because you have a lot of clients. I don't want Eagle Labs to get in trouble here today.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go with band on this one. So I don't know that I'll give you two answers there. So You might not have guessed this from my mild manners. I do enjoy AC/DC. So
Oh, okay.
one of the best bands of the 80s. But I'm also going to see a good Canadian band in Seattle later this fall called Rush.
Uh,
Great Canadian band. So I'll go with those two as my band answers.
Well, my bet was, first off, management of the Road to Retail highly approves of those answers, both
Yes.
of them. I knew as a good Canadian boy, my bet was Rush might make it in there. Without Neil Peart, I'm interested how that goes. And AC/DC, anyone who's ever been to a concert, if that doesn't make them want to be a rocker, you have no pulse. All right, so Michael, how can people get in touch with you or learn more about Eagle Labs directly if they have a need they'd like to talk to you or Jana about?
Absolutely. So we attend a lot of trade shows, very involved in NACDS, ECRMs, supply side, Natural Products Expo, but michael.law at Eagle Labs Inc. That's inc.com. Go to our website, follow me on LinkedIn. Happy to connect. But yeah, just reach out. We get a lot of people looking for information. I'm more than interested in helping guide and mentor people that really aspire and are driven to be successful in these categories. So I think I'm pretty approachable. So just reach out.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much, Michael. Thank you, Jana. Thank you for coming
Yes.
on today. All right, Tracy, the big finish.
The big finish. Thanks for joining us today, Michael, Jana. Thank you so much. This has been fantastic. We love taking the road to retail on the road. And today we are coming live to you from beautiful Tampa, Florida. So thanks for joining us today. Continue to follow us on our LinkedIn page, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. We post every Tuesday. So continue to follow us and also check us out on our website, www.road2retail.com. And thank you again for joining us today.
Good luck out there, folks.